On today's show, the Dallas Mavericks beat the Utah Jazz in the fourth quarter. How did Luka Doncic make history? How did Spencer Dinwiddie listen to us? And then, how did Christian Wood and Dwight Powell play key roles in this Mavericks win? We'll talk about that and more on today's Locked On Mavs.
I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks.
Mavericks, NBA champions. Bang! It's good, and the Mavericks have won the game.
Thank you, Mavs fans.
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and NBA channel manager for the Locked On Podcast Network, letting it ride after a win. Thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen every day. We are free and available on all podcast platforms, including YouTube. But the best way you can help us grow the show is to comment anything below. Let us know, what's the best part of the Mavs win over the Jazz? The best part, your favorite part. Could be anything. Today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. First-time users can get a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code LOCKEDON. That's prizepicks.com, promo code LOCKEDON. And joining me, as always, my co-host, writer, and contributor at Mavs.com, the Reggie Jackson Dagger 3 dude, the One More Thing King. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
You know, my favorite part of this win tonight was beating David Locke's team. Guys, I need you guys to do something right now. We haven't done this in a while. It's going to be a throwback back to the playoffs.
Let's do it.
I need you to go to David Locke, to Locked On Jazz YouTube account.
Head to his postcast. It's probably up already.
Head to the postcast and drop a comment and just say go Mavs.
Just do go Mavs. Just do go Mavs.
Go Mavs. I mean, if you want to say something about the rebrand being absolutely horrible, you can. But just say go Mavs. Give him flashbacks back to the playoffs debacle and then another loss tonight.
It said he's already got it up. Postcast: Luka Doncic leads Dallas Mavericks past Utah Jazz. Just do go Mavs. I just did one with my personal account.
Do a little go Mavs. He was doing a
me and a spam account that says "Have a good time, find your love." Those are the two comments on the video so far.
He was doing a live from the court pregame, and I walked up to it, and he puts the camera on me, and I'm like, "Hey, listen to Locked On Mavs tonight after the win."
Oh, called your shot.
Called the shot right then, and then he was like, "No, you guys got to listen to Locked On Jazz." Said Locked On Mavs could be their second listen, but you know what? I'm sure a lot of them guys don't want to listen to losers. I can't talk too much stuff. They have a good record.
Yeah, they've been good so far. Luka called them a good team.
He's gonna call everybody a good team.
Anybody with a good record, he's gonna call them a good team, I guess. But on today's show, let's get into how the Dallas Mavericks beat this Utah Jazz team, because it did not come as easy as you may think. Looking at this Jazz team before the season, you think, oh, this is just a game where they're just going to roll them over and they don't have any good players and all that. This Jazz team has been pretty good, and the Dallas Mavericks did find a way. Just a 3-point win, 103-100. We're going to talk about how Luka Doncic scored 30 again, how Spencer Dinwiddie listened to us. We were right about many great things, but one of them was Spencer Dinwiddie. Christian Wood.
I've been wrong about JaVale.
Christian Wood, a tale of two halves for him. How did he step up in the second half? And then the center controversy, Dwight Powell, JaVale McGee. Dwight Powell stepped up, and we'll talk about how he did that. Well, let's get into Luka Doncic, because the man just keeps doing things that don't make any sense. I mean, 33 points, 11 assists. He had 2 steals in this game that were both pretty big. He hit 7 of his 10 free throws. Only took 20 shots in this game, played 35 minutes, and ho-hum. Became the first player to score 30-plus points in the first 7 games of a season since Wilt Chamberlain in 1962-63, per ESPN Stats and Info. The guy's getting, like, Wilt Chamberlain-type stats getting brought out about him.
Yeah, arguably the greatest big of all time.
Is that a cat joke?
No. Because I love Wilt.
You do love Wilt.
And I will stand on that mountain forever. He was asked about a post game, by a couple people, I think, McMahon, Kelly Kaplan, about that stat.
Yeah.
He laughs and he's like, I've always heard about Wilt, forever. And, I thought it was on he coined this game. I don't know if he's talking about just this season or I don't know if it's NBA career, but he's like, it's one of my.
I thought it was just for this season.
Just for the season, about being one of the best games he's played. So he was really happy with himself, obviously in the win. But yeah, I mean, he had a stretch there in the second half that was just Luka. It's you go to just what they ask of him in the fourth quarter. Like the second question of postgame, I asked Jason Kidd. I was like, hey, what went right in the fourth quarter tonight?
You guys should see Isaac like mouth those words to himself before he says it out loud in front of everybody, just to get it right.
I had to slow down the question because I was like, all right, what went right?
What went right?
One of the things he said, I thought he gave a really good answer.
Yeah.
But one of the things he said was, he's like, yeah, he's kind of breaking down the rotation in the fourth quarter. He's like, then Luka comes in to bring us home. And Luka did that tonight. And he made a lot of good decisions. He had a stretch there scoring the basketball. And I mean, he's on a tear right now what an opposite tear from like last season. He doesn't look slow. We talked about the other day. He doesn't look out of shape. He's like right in like peak form right now. He's the MVP right now.
Dare we say the narrative is going his direction?
It should be.
For the MVP, Giannis has got the MVP right now.
Sure. Cool.
They're 6-0. I mean, it's so early in the season.
They haven't lost yet?
No, they haven't lost yet.
I thought you just said they're 6-0.
The Bucks are 6-0. 6 wins, 0 losses.
So they're undefeated.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
7-0. They won tonight. Yeah, 7.
I literally just said they haven't lost yet, and you're like, yeah. I'm so confused. Either way, they're really good.
What trips up Locked On Mavs? The Bucks box score of a different game that we weren't even covering. Yeah, so Luka comes in the fourth quarter, 4 points, 2 assists. You're like, that doesn't seem like a lot. Dinwiddie had 10 points in the fourth quarter. He was the one that seemed like he was leading them. But Luka's minutes, the final 6 minutes, and the Mavericks only led this game. They only led this game for 10 minutes, and 7 minutes and 48 seconds of that was in the fourth quarter. Like, this was a comeback win where they just had to come from behind. And something I think Luka is doing so well right now. He was 9 of 12 from about like 12 feet and in. Anything around the basket he's creating himself. He's not doing any putbacks. He's not getting lobs. He's not getting like thrown deep position and post up like on a mismatch. He's creating all that himself, and he's just been money from that department. Like anything 12 feet and in, his floater, his little runners, his getting fouled around there a lot. Like anything like that is just his move where he does the like catches somebody off balance and then. Like,
can you enact that for me real quick?
Where he's like he's backing him down a little bit, has him off balance, and then does the kind of Kobe fadeaway type thing, but then rises up instead of doing the Dirk fade. He rises up, and then he has just the ball in one hand and then puts it off the glass. Like he just has all that stuff down, and I don't know. Maybe playing Eurobasket is helping his touch right now, but his touch looks like it's on another level.
This incredible left-handed oop to JaVale McGee tonight. And
the started left-hand dribble and then into the left-hand throw. Like incredible play.
Just in perfect, obviously JaVale's not playing great basketball right now.
We don't have to get into that right now. We'll save it.
It was just perfect placement on the alley-oop off left-handed dribble. And it's just... Luka's playing incredible basketball. I mean, and you know how in the playoffs I put this like dumb. I just like picked a random number and I was like, all right, if Reggie and Dorian shoot, 10 threes a game, or if the Mavericks, rebounding battle, if the Mavericks shoot this amount of threes per game, I think I might do the opposite with Luka. And I'd say if Luka can shoot under 9 threes a game. It's like set the over. Like what would be the stats on? Because he only attempted 6 tonight. Didn't we attempted 11? You go back to that Pelicans game. He shot 13. If he attempts more than 9 threes a game, I feel like that almost tells us that he's settling for some shots.
Yeah, he's averaging 8.4. So you want to go over under 8.5? If he takes 9 or more or 8 or less.
Let's track the record this year their record.
The 8.5. So we'll keep that on Luka, but he's just been incredible. Another 30-point game, continues to do that. Coming up, let's talk about Spencer Dinwiddie. He was a big key to this game, scored 10 big points in the fourth quarter. He was aggressive. We'll tell you why that matters and why Dwight Powell is all of a sudden like a new fan favorite again and was playing incredible basketball and honestly changed this entire game. We'll tell you why coming up. But before we do, let me tell you about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a game where you can go check it out, see what they have available. You can pick the over-under on 2 to 5 players, and you can win money based off of that. Okay, so they have Golden State versus Orlando. This one's kind of fun. Paolo Banchero, your boy Paolo Banchero against the Golden State Warriors, probably getting guarded by Draymond. Over under 20.5 points.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Over? More?
Over.
Okay, more. Curry, more or less than 26.5 points.
Over.
Oh, yeah. The Magic don't have any guards, let alone any guards that can guard anybody. Put down $20 on that, you can win $60. If you put down $100, you can win $300 right now on that, if that ends up being the case. So go check it out. It's Prize Picks. And right now, you can get a 100% instant bonus match, instant deposit match up to $100. So use the promo code Locked On. Prize Picks will give you $100 if you deposit $100. They'll give you $50 if you deposit $50. So use the promo code Locked On. It's prizepicks.com. All right, Isaac, thanks for making us your first listen today. Make your second listen today, Locked On Sports Today, an incredible podcast covering the entirety of sports all across the network with all kinds of interviews from people like us. All right, Isaac Harris.
I don't even gamble. Prize Picks makes me want to.
It's fun.
That should be part of that.
It's fun, and it's not 100% gambling either. It's like you're playing a game against what the odds
like my
are.
conscience trying to like tell me that, hey,
it's not gambling. It's just fun.
What you're doing right now is not wrong.
Spencer Dinwiddie was awesome in this game. This was the Spencer Dinwiddie that we wanted. I asked Spencer after the game. I said, Jason Kidd has been saying all training camp.
Great question, by the way. Great question.
Saying all training camp that any question to Spencer Dinwiddie is a great question. That we just want Spencer to be Spencer. That's what Coach Kidd has been saying to him and us about him all training camp. Just we want Spencer to be Spencer. I said, have you been Spencer? And what does that mean? And he gave this real long answer where he starts going through, what it means to be me in this is to wear a bunch of different hats. And he starts rattling off all these different things he has to do. Okay, when Luka's on the court, I'm a spot up shooter. When he's not on the court, I'm getting in the pick and roll. I'm attacking. I'm doing this kind of stuff. And you can tell. I could tell just by that answer, he starts rattling off all these different things. Like literally, what did he say? Like 5 or 6 things he names that like different roles that he plays depending on who's on the court, talking about getting Christian Wood involved in things and, being a defender and things like that. You can tell why he was overthinking stuff early in the season about his role and about what he does in certain spots, because there's so many different things that he thinks is what being Spencer Dinwiddie is. And I think in this game, he just put it all down and was like, all right, I'm going to be the attacker in the fourth quarter. And I thought that it was the whole team was better because of it.
Oh, I love this game from Dinwiddie. Now, you can look at it and be like, all right. He hit 4 of 11 on his 3-pointers. But the fact that he took 23. The fact that he took 20 shots.
Yeah.
Let's do this. That's the aggressive Dinwiddie. How many times did he get to the basket tonight? And I'm sitting there in the press box like, yes, more of that. You can do that all the time. They need him to be aggressive like he was tonight. And yeah, he hit a couple of those threes, especially early on. I think he hit 2 in a row in the first quarter there. And it's just a different type of team, because I feel like if he's not being aggressive, then Tim Hardaway's saying to himself, all right,
it's Timmy time.
It's Tim time.
It's baller time. He opens Tom Haverford on Parks and Rec. He opens his watch and it says baller time. He's just like, let's go.
And I'm way more comfortable. This is why at the beginning of the season, I'm like, man, I think Dinwiddie's going to have a bigger year.
Yeah.
Now he's not having like a blow up year that I thought he would have like right now.
Not yet. It's early.
Yeah, but we're only 7 games in. I'm not eating that L like I am JaVale's, but the Dinwiddie one, though, he's playing good basketball, and tonight I think was one of his best games of the season so far.
What did they need Spencer Dinwiddie to do to replace the production of Brunson? Brunson averaged 16 points and 5 assists last year, right? Something like that. 16 points, 4 assists for Dinwiddie right now. Like, he's replacing that production, taking more threes, making them, he's a little bit bigger. He's getting a couple steals. He got some big boards tonight, I thought, too. He had two really big rebounds, I thought, in this game. But and then you start to look at like his box score, and okay, 8 of 20, that looks bad. Fourth quarter, 4 of 9, 2 of 4 from 3, had 4 assists. So 10 points, 4 assists in the fourth quarter. He played all 12 minutes in the fourth quarter. And we've seen a couple of games this year where Jason Kidd decided not to close with him. Decided to go with Tim over. Decided to go with Tim instead of him. Decided to go with somebody else instead of him. And he stepped up, and this was a big fourth quarter for him. And so that's why you can't always look at just the box score. You can't look at every box score just to see what this team is. Dinwiddie, those buckets mattered, and they were aggressive. The assists mattered in the fourth quarter. Great stuff from him.
And I think they want him in that closing unit. You're seeing, I think we're going to start seeing this pattern now of, I tweeted out halfway through the fourth. I was like, I'm fascinated to see what Jason Kidd, who he closes with.
Every game it's like that.
Yeah, but like tonight I was more fascinated with it because it's like, do you go with the lineup that you want to with Maxey at the 5? Do you go with the hot hand with Christian Wood?
Yeah.
Or do you go with the plus minus guy and Dwight Powell? And I'm like, who what's it going to be? Because even Christian Wood tonight, we'll talk a little bit more about him, but he had a bad plus minus up until like those last few stretches there.
Awful in the
fourth quarter. And he still finished at a -7 in the game, same as JaVale. But I was just really curious on what was going to happen with that. And it ended up being the lineup he wants to. And I think that's going to be the lineup that he's going to want to close with most nights with, obviously Luka, but then Dinwiddie, Dorian, Bullock, and Maxey at the 5.
Speaking of Spencer Dinwiddie and plus minus, Dwight Powell got a lot of praise tonight. He got the podium game where he was talking to us in the press room. Dwight Powell's plus 25 in this game. This is a guy that was getting DNP CDs, so did not play, coach's decision. He's not playing. It's not because of an injury or anything like that. Coach just decided, I'd rather play these other guys ahead of him. JaVale, Maxey, Christian Wood, even Dorian, at times. He came in and was exactly what the Mavericks needed. I
mean, he's better than JaVale right now. I mean, it's not even a question, like, at all. Like, that is, I think McMahon asked Jason Kidd after the game. He's like, he brought up the plus minus or something with it. And he's like, hey, is this even in conversation whenever? And, Kidd made a joke about starting 6 people. And he's like, I'll take
Tim McMahon asked him, are you thinking about, is it a controversy to start Dwight Powell? He says, if I can start 6.
Yeah.
Meaning if he can start 6 people, I was like, oh my gosh, he's committed. They're still committed to JaVale, even after this game.
But he did end that joke with, it's something that they're going to look at. And that, I think that is something telling.
That means they're going to do it in like 2 games. It's going to happen soon.
Well,
I bet.
The 11th game. It's after the 10th.
Yeah, right. What's our conspiracies? They told JaVale 10 games and then they're going to reevaluate the rotations.
But man, he just brings so much energy. Kidd mentioned Josh Green in the same sentence with Dwight after the game tonight.
Yeah.
Like there are energy guys. You see what Dwight's doing on the floor. He's hustling. He's diving on the floor. He's catching the lobs. He's, getting hit in the face. He doesn't have the rim protection, whatever, but man, he makes up for it with all the other stuff.
Have you seen the Luke Cornett clip from Boston?
No.
Where Luke Cornett I can't remember who he's playing. He plays for the Celtics, but I can't remember what team he was playing. Where this is viral around NBA Twitter and Reddit the other day. And I think he was even on Shackton, where he somebody throws up a 3-point shot. And he's the only player between the basket and the player, and he just jumps up at the rim and puts his hands like up in front of the rim, just to like block the shooter's view of the rim to try and distract them. And he does it like 2 or 3 different times. And I was like, if there's any other player in the NBA that would try to pull that off, I think it would be Dwight Powell. I think I almost saw him try that today. Some of his closeout and contests are from so far away that he's just trying to get hands up in the player's face in that. But as soon as I saw that clip, I thought of Dwight Powell. And I thought I almost saw him try that.
So this guy really did this in the game of like,
go look up Luke Cornett 3-point shooting, and wow. And yeah, he tries to like just like put his hands in front of the rim while the shooter's shooting. It's a really interesting thing, but Dwight in this game, he brought the energy, and like he just knows where to be and can get there. He always has. He always has known where to be. He always is like in the right in the right place. The problem with Dwight was the physical tools of like his length and his size, like that he couldn't do all the things that you would want a center to do at that spot. But he was always there. That's why he's always getting hit in the face, is because he's always just like right in the right spot. And sometimes when you need to right the ship, you need stability. We've talked about them putting Maxey in instead of Christian Wood. It's the same thing here. It's putting Dwight Powell in instead of JaVale McGee because he just stabilizes. It just stabilizes the lineup. Everybody knows how to play together. He's played with Luka his entire career.
Yeah. And you know, I was talking to David Locke before the game, you know, talking some smack, whatever, having fun with it. And, you know, one of the things David said to me is like, why are they not starting Dwight Powell? Like, why are they not? Like, I don't understand it. Like, he's their best center, you know, to start. And
talk about a guy that appreciates a rim rolling center.
And, you know, and we talked about, you know, the thought process behind adding JaVale and all of that, but he just makes up for all the other areas that, you know, he lacks, and the rebounding, the size, and all that stuff. And just, I mean, and how the team feels about him. I mean, Spencer Dinwiddie went on a monologue tonight that was absolutely incredible. I mean, Dinwiddie's literally like hand like this with the like finger on the table, like talking, doing this whole big thing about, you know, Dwight and how good of a teammate he is and working out and lifting.
Honestly, a 4 or 5 minute monologue he goes on about Dwight. Yeah,
it was incredible. So team loves him. He's a great teammate, and I'm happy for him.
For sure.
Him versus JaVale for the starting spot is more of a conversation than I think for Christian Wood.
Definitely.
Because that's the similar role, right? Like we've talked about a million times. They love Christian Wood in the 6-man role, scoring, all that stuff. Dwight plays the exact same role as JaVale. I think that could be a conversation sooner than Wood.
Coming up, let's talk about Christian Wood. Let's talk about the tale of two halves for him. Jason Kidd also made another comment kind of referencing Christian Wood, so we'll talk about that and more coming up. All right, Isaac Harris. Christian Wood had just a bad first half. First half. He comes out, he plays 11 minutes. He's a minus 14. He has 4 points, so he scored twice. He missed 3 threes, had a couple of rebounds, had 2 really bad turnovers, and just looked like he didn't look like he fit out there. And you're trying to figure out, okay, well, how is he going to make his way into this game? Then he comes out the second half, like something after halftime where it just clicked. He went 8 of 10 from the field, scored 17 points, 6 boards, 2 of them on the offensive end, had like these nasty putbacks a couple times. Just great plays from him.
Nice.
He totally was a different player from first half to second half. And I thought, I mean, if he doesn't go on that run, I don't think they win this game. But I think that he had an incredibly different approach in the second half.
Yeah, you asked Kidd about it. You asked him, you know, what was the difference in Christian Wood's approach, and you know, Jason Kidd was pretty point blank.
Hold on, he said this first.
Nick, that's a good question.
And then he said,
but no, he told you, he's like, hey, I think that's a question for Christian Wood, you know, right? And
never got to ask him.
Yeah, we thought Christian Wood was going to talk tonight, but he couldn't. So I don't know what it was. I mean, it was bad in the first half. You know, Tony Jones, a great reporter at The Athletic, you know, covers the Jazz. You know, he sent out this tweet, and we haven't even talked about the, you know, Mavs going zone and stuff tonight and their defense, which was a huge part of this game because they couldn't guard anybody on the perimeter.
No.
Jason Kidd said that, not just me. And because he's like, hey, if we can't guard man to man, we got to try something. And they went to zone. And he even mentioned Christian Wood as a reason of that.
This is the comment we were referencing. So Tony Jones' tweet was that, you know, the Mavericks started winning as soon as they took out Christian Wood and put Dwight Powell in.
Yeah, and you know, when they went zone and stuff. So that, you know, and that's not just Jason Kidd it wasn't just a single out Christian Wood. It's, you know, Luka was, I don't think, great at all on defense tonight.
No.
So the zone helps them stay afloat, you know, if you want to say that. Kidd, I don't know if he was joking or not, saying that they were going to start the game against Toronto in zone because Toronto could score the basketball. They're just struggling on defense right now, but he did have a different approach, you know, for both the halves, and he played much better in the third quarter. He had those big moments. He's a crowd favorite, not just online, but in the arena too. Because he's an entertainer. You know, every time he scores, the hands up, he's pointing at the crowd, any pass, anything.
He holds everything for a second. Like right
He
after
does.
he does it, he holds it, and then he's like,
He did this one pass to Luka. It wasn't even like a fancy pass, but he threw it and it was like, and I was like,
held his hand out in front of him. Yeah.
But I was happy for him. And some of those plays were nasty, and they needed that run.
Yes.
And he did get praise from Jason Kidd about that.
Mhm.
Whenever I asked him what went right in the fourth quarter, he said it was DP, Christian Wood, that group there in the first half of the fourth.
His minutes were minus 14 in the first half, plus 7 in the second half. Like, didn't entirely make up for it, but had a much better second half, completely different.
And he played with Dwight Powell in the second half.
That was interesting.
They put so Maxey was on the floor. Dallas loves playing Maxey with Christian Wood. In a sense, it's like they almost have to have him
And
out
it's
there with
worked.
Christian Wood because of defense purposes and stuff. But Dwight went to the scores table, and I was like, "Ooh, this is really fascinating.
Yeah.
Who's he going to take out right here?" And he took out Maxey, and I was like, "Man, how many minutes have we seen with Christian Wood and Dwight on the floor together?" And it was fine. They played fine together. I wonder if that's something that they will. Now, some of it's probably Utah's team and some of that. If they play against a better team, that we might not see that pairing too much. But
Shots fired at Utah.
well, sorry. Anyway,
Jason Kidd's comment was, I asked him what was the difference in approach between Christian Wood, and he was praising him and giving him praise and said, he was out there, he was doing great, and because we were in a zone, he could be effective, and they don't trust him on defense, right? Like, it has been very clear over the first couple of.
I mean, should you though? Like,
that's what, but yeah, it's like as much as you can see it on TV or see it in person when you watch them, the coaching staff doesn't trust him that much more on defense. Like, it's a bigger hurdle than I had thought maybe at the beginning of the season or even right before training camp that it was going to be.
But they have a good reason to though. Like, I don't want to just be like, they just don't trust him.
No,
I don't trust him either.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that how far away he is from some people's minds of like he's just so close to starting. He has a couple of good games, and all of a sudden he's going to be right there, and he can be the starting center. Like that conversation is so far away because of what they think about him on the defensive end.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a portion of it. Yeah.
I just thought that comment was a little bit even more revealing, like taking it a step further even.
Yeah.
Couple other people to bring up in this game. Reggie Bullock misses all the threes and makes the one that matters, the dagger at the end. Spencer Dinwiddie brought that up and said that, remember last year, the Mavericks' 2 words were chemistry and accountability. That was the words they just kept bringing up. The players got to decide which words they wanted to be a part, like they wanted to be. And this year, the words are accountability again and resiliency. And resiliency was a word he brought up about Reggie Bullock because of that shot that he hit.
Yeah, I love that for Reggie. Any of the guys who spoke post game, they're like, "Hey, we weren't shocked that he hit the shot. Like, even though he missed a couple before the game, like that's who he is, and he's gonna knock down the shot. He did. Love Reggie on this team. I want to give a shout out to Josh Green too. I thought Josh Green played some good minutes off the bench tonight. 18 minutes for him.
Guess who found more minutes for him? The coach. The coach found him more minutes. I thought that was the funniest comment the other day. We got to find Josh more.
And he took it, and it came from Tim, right? Like it took away
and Dorian.
a little bit. Yeah, Dorian sub too. But he was a +8 tonight. Obviously plus minus doesn't mean anything, but you look across the board, and I mean, it doesn't mean everything.
Yeah.
But you look across the board, and it's like, all right, JaVale's -7, makes sense. Christian Wood -7. But then Josh Green in his 18 minutes is +8 in this game. And I thought he brought some much needed energy. He hit it
for sure.
Hit 2 threes in this game. His 3-point shooting seems better.
He got the Josh Green Memorial offensive rebound. He gets one every game, and they're great.
He's gonna get an off ball foul. He's got to chill out. He's got to chill out with the jump passes. It's all.
He'll catch some of them though. He'll tip some passes and catch some of them though.
I love Dwight was asked by Callie after the game about his relationship with Josh, and because they've formed a friendship and stuff. And he just had a great answer of just being a vet for him, and basically paraphrasing Dwight a little bit, telling him like, calm down, find your spots, and because he is like he's this Energizer bunny. He's the I've threw out the high school running back, the football running back in high school that also plays basketball that you just kind of just throw into the game. And he's like, hey, just go play hard. And that's kind of Josh. And I'm happy for him that his shot looks much more comfortable. We say it after every game, it feels like, but the results are that, like the stats actually back that up.
Oh, he hit 2 of his 3 threes tonight. He's shooting really well from 3. He looks confident. This is the second show in a row that I've said that, and I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, so
although he missed both of his free throws.
Dallas lost the rebounding battle tonight.
Oh.
Shut it down! Oh, let's go home!
Just wanted to throw that out there. But
and you know it's an instant like just get all Mavs fans going crazy at once, like to get momentum, to get back in. Just show Dirk on the Jumbotron. Just do that. They did that. What was it, in the fourth quarter or third quarter, and just all of a sudden everyone's like amped up like 10%. Automatic. And I love it.
Power Ranger Mavs man was back.
I'm done. I'm out. Nope.
Okay, let's just say this at least. At least he's not scary anymore. A Power Ranger compared to whatever that was.
You know what he is under that mask. You know what he is.
It was like a basketball and jack-o'-lantern like had sex and had a kid.
Cover your ears, children. No, Mavs man. I'm out on Mavs man. No Dunks put out a good video. J.E. Skeets and No Dunks put out a good video on Mavs man because they
really?
Yeah, they discovered what it is, and J.E. Skeets did a good video on it. So I think it's on their TikTok and Twitter and all that.
Okay, I'll have to go find it.
Tomorrow we'll talk about the JaVale McGee controversy. We'll talk about Christian Wood's role and all kinds of stuff. We'll be back tomorrow, and then we'll also do a post game after the Raptors game. Mavs play.
I'm fascinated by that.
This is going to be a big game for them.
Yeah, because Toronto can score the basketball, and if they can't defend, then and they have some good defenders. Obviously, Scotty Barnes and OG. Love freaking OG. Yeah, I'm a little scared, to be honest. A little scared about Friday night.
Yeah, it'll be a good test for him. This will be a good thing to see, especially at home. So check back in on that, guys. Also, go check out Locked On NBA. I'm hosting that on Friday, Thursday night with Adam Morez. So go check out Locked On NBA. Go check out Locked On Sports today as well. Great podcast with the biggest stories of the day, plus instant reaction, big game recaps, and the take of the day. Available on Odyssey apps, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcast. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom.